Hey Facebook, this is Krisha Young here, your delicious life coach and sabotage slayer. And today I wanted to do a live stream all about strong women. There's been a reoccurring theme that has been coming up on client calls and in the Delicious Life Circle and the Delicious Life Movement and all the different avenues I have to speak with and support women. And something that I completely forgot that I dealt with as well. And this is the idea that if you're a strong woman, you have to just be strong all of the time. And I know for myself that that was sort of like my MO for a very, 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 very long time. Even, this is a role and a pattern I had picked up as a kid, with always needing to be like the strong one, the one in control and all that kind of stuff. And that carried through with me well into adulthood. And when I was really struggling a lot with depression and anxiety and low self-worth and all of those kinds of things, not very many people knew about that because I was very, very good at hiding it. You wouldn't know that I was really, really struggling on the outside. You couldn't tell. And whenever I tried to talk to people about it and said, I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling depressed, or I'm feeling this, or I'm feeling that, I would often be met with like, what are you talking about? Like, you're the most confident person I know. If I ever said, oh, I feel really nervous or insecure, which I was all the time, it would just simply be met with, oh, well, you're just, there's no way that you're not secure. You're the most confident person I know. And I'd be sitting there going, oh my God, you have no idea. Hey guys, hi. Hi. This is for you guys, so stay on and watch the live. And this is the thing, like strong, powerful women, we hide a lot of stuff. And the part of the reason is because we do have this role. So we have had to be the strong person, to be the one in charge, to be the one always having their shit together. And because of that, what ends up happening is we bring in people who are maybe not as strong, and they look to us as like guardians of the galaxy in a way. They look to us as the people who've got it together. And what that ends up creating, though, is an environment where strong women don't feel like we can be vulnerable or weak. So we're constantly pushing up against, always feeling the need to be strong, always feeling the need to have it together. And what this does is it ends up actually, it's really harmful. It's very dangerous and very harmful for a strong woman, because what it does is it ends up, all of this tension ends up manifesting in different kind of ways. And this ends up as like overworking, overeating, overdrinking, all sorts of the bad habits that I see women coming into my community with, and all the things that I used to do too. A lot of numbing out, a lot of avoiding, a lot of pretending nothing was wrong. And it would just constantly bubble up and manifest in different kind of ways. And when you are in that state and you're starting to feel the cracks, and you're starting to feel like this isn't right, I don't want to feel this way anymore, I don't want to have to be so strong all the time, I'm feeling like crap right now, and there's something not right in my life, and I'm not happy, and there's things that I don't want to settle for anymore. And when you start expressing that to your circle of friends, if you've always been that strong one, then they're not going to get it. They're going to want to put you in that box. They're going to tell you that you're imagining things. They're going to tell you that you're just tired. They're going to tell you that, no, you're not feeling that way. You're just, this is just a phase. This is going to pass. And so then you start to doubt yourself, and you start to think, yeah, smarten up, girl. Get your act together and get back out there. And meanwhile, that longing, that tugging, that dissonance inside of you isn't going anywhere. It's still there. And it constantly manifests, like I said a minute ago, into other things, into other, hey Maria, how's Italy? It manifests into like habits that you're just not happy with, that you're doing, right? And the reason why your friends and family do this is because they're terrified. Because if you're the strong one and you start losing it in some kind of way, well, then what does that do for them, right? Like, then they're like, oh my God, our rock is crumbling. What are we going to do? But you can't be everybody's rock all of the time. Like, you literally have to just be your own rock. If you are feeling this dissonance, if you are feeling this like tug, like something's not right, and you are trying to talk to people and people are just not getting it, you're talking to the wrong people. You have to find your tribe of women who get it. We've got to let go of that role of pleasing everybody else and being that rock for everybody else and being that savior and being that coach and all that kind of stuff. Unless we are doing it from a place of pure service and not because it's a role we're playing, right? And if you aren't being held and given the space and the ability to be vulnerable, to let your own crap out, to figure out what's going on, it's going to be very hard for you to maintain that solid space. Our rock is crumbling, right? Like, it's so true. Okay, so ladies, obviously this is a big topic. I'm really glad that I talked about this because like this came up strong the Delicious Life Circle on Sunday night, and it got me really thinking, and I was like, holy shit, yes, this is definitely an issue that I've seen in almost every single one of my clients. I'm surprised it just never dawned on me until now. And this was something that I used to struggle with a lot, so I get this. So here's the thing. These are the things that you need to do. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 things, okay? So one, you got to start setting some boundaries. Last night I was at a Lori Harder event, and what she said was that if you're feeling anxious in your life, it could mean that you have some boundaries that are out of like not being honored. And I thought about that and I was like, you know what? That's very true. Whenever I start to feel anxious about something, it's usually because somebody is infiltrating a boundary. Like maybe I've said no to somebody and they're coming back consistently pushing on it. And I'm like, I've said no already. And then I start to feel anxious because then I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't be saying no. Maybe I should be doing what they want me to do. And that's that anxiety because I have loosey-goosey boundaries around that particular thing. I need to be strong in that sense to hold my boundary, to say no if it is something that genuinely I do not wish to do. And no is a complete sentence, right? Stand your ground. Seek support. I'm always going to have this one in here as a tip because you can't, changing habits and changing mindsets and changing patterns is almost impossible without a mentor, without somebody to help you, bring you along. It's that accountability and it's that support and it's that person who can say, hey, I can see what's going on here. And you're like, oh, I never saw that. I was doing that. And those are the kinds of things that help you move along and out of your own ingrained patterns and habits and into the life that you really, truly want, and like unapologetically. And also when you hear it from a coach rather than hearing it from somebody else, there's no judgment there. You know then that it's coming from a place of genuinely wanting to see you grow and nourish yourself rather than like if it came from a spouse or a friend or something like that, you might be like, well, they're judging me. Ladies, you gotta feel the feels. I'm sorry, not sorry, but you do. You're not gonna fall apart. I've had clients who have been terrified of going to that deeper level because they were so worried that if they start crying, they're never going to stop. And I promise you, you will stop crying. It's impossible. There's nobody in the world who's literally walking around crying 24/7. Okay. The release is going to help take away what's like creating so much noise up here and in here, right? The crying, the release is going to help you process and see what it is that you need to see rather than like having that strong kind of like blinder on all the time, and which isn't allowing you to dig in and really get to your truth of what it is that you need to face and what it is that you need to delve into. And that crying is vulnerability, right? That crying is weakness. That crying is saying that you haven't got your shit together. That crying is out of control. And it is the best medicine, morning Tanya, It is the best medicine that you can give yourself, really, is to have some sort of release, whether it's screaming, whether it's crying, whether it's beating the crap out of a pillow with a baseball bat. I've walked around my house literally wearing a garbage bag on days that I felt like garbage. That's from Regina Thomas Hauer in her book, Pussy. And I can't tell you how amazing it felt to actually feel the feelings and then like come through them on the other side. It's like a birthing in a way. And whenever I've had my clients really tap into this and really feel the feels and not run away from them anymore, holy crap, they're literally like new women the next time I talk to them. They're lighter. That's the thing that I hear over and over and over again, is I feel so much lighter now that I've released all of this crap. Imagine we're carrying the weight of everybody else's problems and everybody else's stuff and the worry and the shame and all of that kind of stuff. We're carrying all of that. And when you start to release it and release your own shame and you release your own guilt around stuff, holy crap, you will literally feel 1,000 pounds lighter, right? And this will also help sift off the sludge that's keeping you from seeing what it is that you really want to do and you really deserve in life. And I find that a lot of women who are strong and who are caught in this trap, when I ask them, what is it that you want or what do you want to do? Often the answer is, I don't know. I don't know. And that's because you've been denying the gift of figuring that out because you're so concerned about everybody else. You're so concerned about being strong all the time that you haven't really ever taken the time to dig into you and what it is that you want. And I promise you, the world doesn't end when you start doing this stuff, and you won't cry 24/7 forever and ever, amen, if you start, okay? I promise. It is like the best release ever. It's like an orgasm. And I think for me personally, and this is also something that works really well for my clients too, is trusting in a source outside of yourself. This was a hard one for me because I am a reformed control freak, a semi-reformed perfectionist. I'm still a little bit of a perfectionist, but control everywhere. And yeah, I get that there's universe and maybe God. I don't necessarily believe in God per se, but I'll go there. I'll give it. But yeah, for sure, there's another source. I mean, like, we're here, right? But I never made a connection that source could be mine. I never made a connection that source could be my partner, and we could like travel off into the sunset together. I never trusted that. I always thought I had to do everything on my own, and it's exhausting. It is exhausting. And I talked about this a little while ago about my struggle with letting go and letting God. And that has literally been a mantra and something that I've had actually on my, these are all my goal cards, by the way. And I've got some in here. Is it easy? Is it fun? If not, doesn't happen. Anyway, I've got let go and let God in here somewhere. And it's been a reminder for me to trust in another force outside of myself so that I don't have to be in control all of the time, 24/7. So again, strong women like you, like all you friggin' amazing women who are on this live stream right now, give yourself a chance to trust an outside source, right? If it's God, if it's Buddha, if it's spiders, whatever, it doesn't matter. If it's the universe, whatever, like, start to practice what it could feel like if you were like, I really want this thing to happen. I'm going to say it up there or down there, whatever. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to trust that it's going to happen for me. And I'm going to take the action steps that I need to take. Of course, you have to do the humanly stuff in order for it to happen. But you gotta also let that other source in to be your partner. And if this is like sounding really like out there for you guys, for some of you, it was for me too, until I really did start to listen to this and believe it. And now what I do is I ask for my support. I ask for help. I ask for guidance. I ask for answers. But you gotta listen. Okay, so that's the key. You gotta listen. You gotta receive it as well. And this is also part of being in your feminine. Being in your feminine energy is also listening and receiving that message. And when it comes through, because it will come through, it might not be in the exact way you think it's going to be, but that message will come through, and you got to listen to that and take action on whatever comes your way, right? That's how you engage the support, and you let go of the complete and utter tight ball grip control that you have on life, right? So I'm going to read some comments here, because there's a lot. Wow, this is a great live stream. Amazing. Oh no, it's frozen. Okay, hang on. I struggled silently with crippling anxiety for years before daylighting the problem. Yeah, that's it. And it was probably crippling because you were hiding it, right? I'm curious to know, Mia, how you're feeling now with your anxiety, now that it's kind of out in the open and you've been public about it, and you shared about it, and you've been vulnerable about it. I think when we hide things about ourselves, it's so much worse. It becomes a real big problem, because we have a lot of shame around it, and we hide it, right? And so it's like this festering, like boil that you're trying to ignore, that's not really there, and it's just getting worse, right? Eva, thank you. Beautiful insight there. The better I get at setting boundaries, the stronger and more empowered I feel. Yes, that's so true. That's so true. And I think a lot of people are concerned that if they say no, or they set a boundary or whatever, the person's not going to like them anymore, or they're going to be rejected from the crowd, or whatever it is. There's like deeper fears there that happen for us women who are afraid of saying no. And I can tell you from personal experience and from witnessing all my clients do this too, it's a friggin' game changer. It is a massive, massive game changer when you really start to stand your ground and stay firm on your boundaries, and life just gets way easier. And you just don't put up with the kind of crap that you used to put up with. And you start to retrain people how to treat you. And if they don't respect that, they gotta go. And they will. They'll drop off. The people who don't respect you will drop off, but you've got to respect you first in order for people to respect you. Tanya, I need to find that badass that I used to be. Yeah, girl. So helpful. I needed to hear this today. Italy is wonderful, but fuck, I'm moving through lots of stuff. Of course you are. I'm not surprised at that at all, honey. I'm 2 days into outing, tears from morning till night. Thank you for saying the crying will stop. It will, honey. I love you too. And I'm here if you need me. Mwah. Trusting in source is huge for my well-being and my business, life-changing. 100%, 100%. Mia, now anxiety is like an old friend. Oddly, it's like a rudder for me. Yeah, when it flares, it's like a flag that tells me to check in and recognize I need more sleep, more nutrition, more exercise, more general self-care. Exactly. So that's what I was saying. And that's actually what what I had quoted Lori on, Lori Harder last night. Anxiety is could be an indication that you are not holding your boundaries. And so self-care, sleep, nutrition, all of that kind of stuff is a boundary, right? And if you're letting other things get in your way of not prioritizing that stuff, then your boundaries are loose around there. And for sure, that's going to cause anxiety, because it is in contradiction to how you really want to treat yourself, right? And when you have that dissonance between what you're actually doing and how you want to treat yourself, that can create a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression as well. Eva, we need that belief in source in order to maintain our sanity. It's so true. But like I didn't grow up with religion. I didn't grow up with any spirituality or anything like that. My grandparents, my mom's parents were Catholic, and occasionally when I was visiting, and at Christmas, we'd go to church. But spirituality was never discussed ever in my home. And so I was never exposed to it. I was never exposed to that thing. And I remember hearing Oprah, she didn't have a great upbringing, but she had a connection to her church. And I remember her saying once that she thought Jesus was her brother. And so growing up with that kind of faith, I could see if everything is tumultuous and awful in your life, if you have some sort of connection to something, I can see how that can propel you forward, because then you have a belief that you're special in some sort of way. Like Jesus being your brother, I mean, hell, that must mean you're special, right? And as a kid, your imagination can go there, where I didn't have any of that. I just literally believed I was a piece of shit and completely unlovable. That's what I believed, like all the time. And when I started to really dive deep and work on this stuff, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's obviously not true. But there is a source out there that I can rely on, and I don't have to do this all on my own. And it's such a relief, and it's such a release. Hi, Lisa. It's such a release to be able to trust in another source outside of yourself. And so I would encourage you guys to, like, always, my number one way of connecting to that and sorting all of this stuff out is meditation. And because what meditation does is it really helps you get quiet, even though the voices are going 24 miles an hour or whatever, and they're loud. If you got to be consistent with it, you've got to be consistent with it, and eventually it will quiet down, and eventually you'll start to get the messages that you need to get in order to know what your next steps are. But you have to be consistent at it. Most people try meditation once and they're like, it wasn't for me. Or they go to a meditation class and it was like an hour long. I mean, please, if you offer meditation, don't offer hour-long meditation classes to people who've never meditated before. It's the worst thing that you can do for them. Offer them a 1-minute meditation class or a 5-minute meditation class. That's it. You want to just start small with meditation and find the ones that, like, play roulette with it. Do silent, do guided, do affirmations, whatever. Like, find the different ones that will help you get centered and quiet. And eventually what will happen is you'll hear all the craziness, and then you'll start to be like, okay, what's crazy and what's discernment? What's crazy and what's intuition? What's the bullshit that I don't, what's my mom's voice? What's my dad's voice? What's somebody else's voice? Oh, I don't need that. That's not even mine. Okay, what am I trying to hear? What is my thing? What's source trying to tell me? That's what eventually happens, but you got to be consistent with it. And I meditate every single day. I feel weird if I don't. And I remember the very first time I meditated, I was sitting at this desk, and I literally, like, I had the timer on for a minute, and I looked and I was like, oh my God, it's only been 30 seconds. Like, it felt like a year. And now I can sit and meditate for an hour. So give yourself that chance. So that's the last tip. Okay, so I'm going to round this up because I've been on here a while. But wow, you guys are, yay. I struggle with meditation. However, I'm working on that path. I do find the morning walks with my dog, my brain is quiet then. Yeah, perfect. I mean, you got to start somewhere. Do you do it at the same time? So Lisa, I don't think, I think this is another area that women get, screwed up about, is that you have to do a meditation only in the morning, or you have to only do a meditation before bed, or whatever. Honestly, there's no freaking rules. Like, there's no rules. When you want to meditate, meditate. It is a tool in your toolbox to help you get centered and grounded. If you feel that you need to get centered and grounded after a meeting in the middle of the freaking day, do it then. It doesn't matter. I do my meditations in the morning when I wake up, but I also do them in the middle of the day. If I'm having a particularly anxious day, I will probably do 3 or 4 meditations in a day. I'll go to my oracle cards. I'll go to my crystals. I'll go to my sage. I'll go to my to nature. I'll go to my places that help me reconnect. And so there's no hard and fast rules. You meditate whenever the hell you want to meditate, girl, and you do whatever meditation you want. And I love Insight Timer for this, because it's a great app. hang on, where is it? It's a fantastic app because you can really play roulette with meditation in this one, and you can time, you can do your own, you can like search by topic, by time, everything. It's really, really, really great. You're welcome, sweetheart. All right, everybody. Wow, this is a great live stream. This is obviously best app ever. Yeah, this is obviously a topic that you guys really, really needed to hear. So this was me trusting in source and using my intuition to deliver a message, right? And it's clear that this was something that you all needed to hear today. So please watch it again, and watch it as many times as you need to in order to absorb whatever it was that you might have missed the first time. And you know, reach out. Like this is how I support women. You don't have to do this alone, and I've got tons of ways that you can work with me. So you know, if this is something that you're struggling with and you're done and you really want to move past it, then frig. That's the other thing with strong women, is we feel like we have to do all this crap alone. And I'm telling you, no. Strong women get help. I am so much stronger now because I've been hiring all my coaches and working with people over the last few years. And because I have been able to cross the bridges of the areas of my lives where I needed to put boundaries with the support of somebody. I've been able to see where I'm holding myself back and where I'm sabotaging myself because of the help of my coaches. And that's exactly what's on offer here. Oh, Lisa, I love working with you too, honey. You're awesome. So yeah, if this is resonating with you, you feel you want to have a conversation with me and see how I can support you with my various programs and offerings, then just reach out. It's you know, there's no obligation, and I'm not gonna bite your head off or anything. But there will be change. All right, everybody, thank you so much. I love this. I love this community, and I love all you women who are on here watching and you know, engaging. And thank you for all your comments. Thank you for sharing your experiences with all of this. It is okay to be a strong, confident, beautiful, empowered woman. It's okay. But what I want is for you to be doing it from a place of genuine authenticity, a solid inner core, and doing things that you want to do because it's in alignment with you, and not because you're settling, and not because you're pleasing somebody else. Like, no, no, no. In order for us to really, really, really be these empowered women on the planet that the planet is dying and calling for these days, right now, we need to build that inner strong core of self-love, self-compassion, self-care, self-confidence, all of that. And when you do build that, then you become unstoppable, and everything that you want in life becomes yours, and it becomes a lot easier for you to manifest it because you're not bogged down with everybody else's shit. Okay, so I can help facilitate that for you if this is something that you're struggling with. But you know, whatever, I love you all, and thank you so much for showing up and talking about where you're stuck. And I'm happy to be of service in any possible way I can. I'm also going to be talking about some stuff that we discussed on Sunday night about mental health, so keep an eye out for my post about that as well. I've got some tips on how you can help support people who are struggling with mental health in your life. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Krisha Young, your Sabotage Slayer and Delicious Life Coach, and I will see you on the next live stream. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love you. Bye.